Hello, Claudia with Crazy Island Studios. Welcome to another episode of DecoArt Monday. I don't know what I'm going to do today, so I'm going to gesso the pages. Actually, this page feels like it's got some gesso on it already. I must have had something go through. And this page does not, so that they match. I'm going to apply a quick coat of gesso and then let it dry, and then we'll move on. Okay, real quick before I let this dry, you saw me spritz it with water. That's because this gesso is like really super thick in here and I didn't need it to be like heavy, super thick coating, so I just spritzed a little bit of water because I didn't want to stick my brush in water and then stick my brush back in the jar. So, okay, I'm going to let this dry and then we're going to see what we're going to do after that. Okay, so this is totally not dry, and I just don't have the patience to wait, so I'm not going to wait. We'll see what happens. I might be doing like a little bit of a whitewash over some of this anyway, so I'm not worrying about it too much. I grabbed a few bits of like just junky collage stuff. These are all just bits that people sent me. I don't know, junky, but like not super patterned, just little scraps. That's what I'm talking about. This has such a pretty shiny paint on it. Oof, I love it. And this is a page out of a book of some sort. I don't know. I'm just sticking stuff down. And let's see. Okay, grab some dictionary text. And I got my matte gel. And I'm just going to glue things down and not worry too much about, well, the gesso will hold this down. It's still sticky under there. Well, we'll just add the gel. It'll be okay. I'm going to get gesso in my gel medium. And then I'll probably cry about it later. But for now, I just don't care. Just going to randomly glue down some collage bits, and then I'll be back. Alrighty, so I got some collage down. I don't know what I'm going to do next, so I'm going to let this dry. I've got some pretty heavy application of matte gel going on. The gesso still needs to dry, so I'll be back in a little while. Okay, so I'm back, and I just realized that I am recording a DecoArt Monday, and I didn't use DecoArt matte medium to glue my stuff down. I think I used my regular matte gel. Oops. We're not going to hold that against me, right? We're still going to call it DecoArt Monday. I'm going to get back to my DecoArt products. Ordinarily would have used the DecoArt matte medium. I don't know where my brain is. I'm just tired. I am tired today. Well, this actually has been drying for 2 nights and it's still wet. Still, like, I can touch it and get wet gel medium. This is what I live with. So somebody asked me in my last video, where do I live? I'm in Hawaii, and for those of you who don't know, that I recently moved to Hawaii, and I moved to the very wet side of the Big Island. So yeah, it's just rainy, and it's like I moved in the one of the wettest years in a while. Of course I did. So yeah, my paint won't dry. I'm gonna move on, and then I'll heat dry this with my torch. So hold on, I'm yawning. Okay, sorry. Gosh, tired. I spent all day yesterday flying to Oahu and back with my daughter to see a specialist. So, it was a very long, exhausting day, but I am determined to get this video recorded and edited and uploaded so it'll actually play for you on Monday because it's almost Christmas. It's like 2 days before Christmas right now as I'm recording this. And I want to get this done because it's not going to happen over the weekend with Christmas and everything. Next, what I'm coming in with is some gesso. And I'm just going to apply it with my finger, so I'm going to stick my hand right into the jar. And I just want to kind of obscure some of these edges, just a little. I'm not going to overthink it or worry about it too much. I don't know what I'm doing. I have just like a little tiny seed of an idea in my head of texture. I know I want texture, glazes, because I love glazes, some modeling paste, which is going to be a bear to get dry right now because it's just so rainy, wet, humid right now. But I'm determined that's what I want to do, so I'll have to figure it out. And yeah, so, okay, I'm going to speed through the rest of this because you'll die from boredom while I just get a little gesso on some of these edges, and then I will heat dry this in the hopes that I can get back to you soon. And I'm not trying really hard to put this down really smooth, so it'll give some texture too, because, you know, texture is never bad in my world, unless I'm like, you know, trying to draw something, and then texture can be difficult. But, okay, I'll be back. Okay, so that took forever, and I'm still not certain that it's like 100% dry, which it should be before you do what I'm about to do, but we're going to give it a go anyways. My gel medium, really, it's still a little tacky. It just doesn't want to dry. I don't know what the deal is. So, what color do I want to use? I'm thinking, and I'm looking away from the camera, I'm sorry, I'm thinking pink glaze. So some Quin Magenta and some glazing medium. DecoArt sells this in their Traditions line, which is like their artist acrylic paints, and I have a few of them. And then I have their DecoArt Media Fluid Acrylics, which are, oh, I love these. These are definitely for mixed media artists. And so I'm just going to mix this. This glazing medium is thicker than the one that I use normally from Golden, so it should be interesting. And I never make enough for 2-page, so we'll see if I got enough out there. I'm going to use about 50-50 glazing medium, oopsie, to paint. Maybe a slightly more glazing medium because I really squirted it on thick there. So I probably should have gave that a shake up first, but I didn't, so life goes on. Alright, so let's just get that blended together. Glazing medium's a little bit thick because I didn't give it a shake. So I'm going to take just a second to blend that. There we go, good enough. And then you just throw down a coat over everything. And some of my papers are not sticking properly. I'm just having issues with this page, and it all boils down to that stupid, what is that stuff called? Gel medium, yeah. And now that I've done this over the entire page, I'm wondering, do I want to do everything or leave some of it? So I'm thinking leaving some of it. Definitely get over all these blank spaces and the text. But I probably don't need to go over the papers that are already pink. Now this definitely is a very thin glaze, not a lot of color concentration here. So I may need to leave this for just a little bit longer than I normally would to get it to set. And we'll see what we get. Alright, I'm going to stop now and let this sit for a couple of minutes, and then we'll come in with the baby wipe and wipe it off. Okay, so I let that sit for a couple of minutes, and now I'm going to come in with a baby wipe and start wiping away some of the glaze. Ooh, and some of it is really stuck. Interesting. Let's see what we get. Okay, so this glaze behaves differently. This glazing medium behaves a little differently than what I am used to, but I'm really liking it. Really liking it. So in some places it will just wipes right off, no worries. Some of the places where it dried, you can kind of get it to wipe off in this really like textural, messy manner, and ooh, I love it. So makes it look very grungy. I really like that look. So this is making me like crazy happy. Can't even tell you. I'm almost like scratching it off in some areas. So that's fun stuff. I may dry this and do another one in teal. Yeah, just to see what happens. Okay, I'll be right back as soon as I give this a quick dry. Okay, so I've got this slightly dry. It's still a little tacky. Still just a little tacky. Mostly in those areas with that gel medium. I don't know what this is going to mean for my glazes, but I'm kind of excited to find out what's going to happen next because I don't know. I don't know. It's exciting. Okay, so some teal's going down. And we're going to give this glazing medium a shake this time, so maybe it won't be quite so thick when I squirt it out. And let's get it about there. That's about 50-50. Okay, and I'm just going to apply this pretty much everywhere. Yeah, this medium's much thicker than the fluid acrylics. That's okay. It still does its job. That's all that matters, right? Is that it does its job. Now, it's different than what I'm used to using, but I'm liking it, so I don't care. Let's just do this everywhere and see what turns blue, what turns purple. We don't know. It's going to be fun. It's exciting stuff. Okay, waiting 2 minutes sometimes can be so hard, but you can't rush this. You have to let it do its thing. Okay, so I'm going to start with the dirtier baby wipe, and then we'll come back in with the clean one in a minute. And let's just start moving this around. Look at that. That is, oh my stars. That makes me so crazy happy. Can't even begin to tell you. I may not come in with a clean baby wipe because I like what I'm getting with the dirty one. Yeah. Look at that. That is so pretty. This right here, that makes me crazy happy. This over here makes me crazy happy. Whew, liking so much of this. So much of this. What are we going to do with it now? That's a very good question. We will have to figure that one out. I'm going to have to let this dry a little and think about what's next, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm having this crazy inkling, and I didn't dry this at all because I have no patience, but I'm having this crazy inkling to put black in here, like a lot of it. I don't know if this is going to be great or if it's going to suck eggs completely, but we're going to give it a try and see what happens. So I grabbed my black gesso, and I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to go in with my finger, and I'm thinking in some of these white areas and around the bits of paper, and will it look like some of this stuff is coming out of a black? I don't know, but we're going to see what this might do. I'm a little scared, I'll admit, a little bit, but we're going to do it. Let's just see what happens. I don't know that I love that. Let's see what happens if we wipe some of that away and leave bits of black. Maybe I'll like that better. My baby wipe is very, very wet. It needs to be drier. Squeeze some of the water out of it. Maybe what I needed was like a black glaze, but I don't know that I want to do that much coverage with black. So, joys of acrylic, right? You can wipe away most. I was trying to wipe it away gently, but I think I want to actually wipe away most of it. Joys of acrylic is you can wipe away most of what you don't like as long as your underlayer is relatively dry. Mine is, kind of dry. Okay, so what now? What are we going to do instead? Since I don't like that, my page is now wet. Tighten buff, let's just see what happens with a little Tighten buff thrown in here. Well, I like that a lot better. I just need some places for the eye to rest. It's so extraordinarily bright and textured and a lot happening. It just needs some restful areas because it just gets to be too much. Okay, so things are just getting crazier and crazier. I'm going to dry this, and I just went in with a damp paper towel just to wipe some of that back. I'm going to dry this, and then I'm going to think about it for a second, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've let this dry. Actually, I've let this dry overnight, and like I felt like I needed to look at it and think about it for a minute, and I'm just unsticking it from the other pages right now just because. So, goodness, what have I done? I'm not entirely sure. Do you ever just like paint yourself into a corner? I've totally painted myself into a corner here. I love certain parts of this, and I kind of wish I had collaged the entire thing instead of leaving these gaps, because now I don't love the gaps, but I love where I collaged and then did the glazes on top. So what now? What do we do now? I could go back through and, oh, I'm yawning, hold on. Apparently the yawning does not want to stop. So I could go back and I could recollage and reglaze and all that. I don't want to do that. So I have this stencil from the Crafters Workshop that I'm going to throw on here because when in doubt, throw on a giant stencil, right? And I'm actually going to do it. I only want this girl on the left. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do it again on this side. And then we're going to see what the heck at that point. Like, what are we going to do from there? Anything? Nothing. I don't know. We'll see. But this will give me the opportunity to cover up some of the blank spots that I'm really bothered by. So that makes me happy. And then I'll figure it out. Like, I don't even know. And I don't even think I want it centered on each page. I kind of want it to be kind of wherever it falls. This is going to cover big blank spot, and I'm going to use a piece of guard paper, and I love me some parchment, so that's what this is, parchment paper, and just tape this down. I have tape somewhere. Here it is. I moved, I rearranged, I cleaned, and I'm going to find stuff now. I'm going to tape this down just to make sure that I don't accidentally spray any parts of this other girl on here, which means I'll have to tape this down, and well, that was really bad. I'll have to tape this down, I'll have to spray it, I'll have to clean it, I'll have to flip it over, I'll have to spray it again. But that's okay. Life goes on. So, right there, and I'm going to use my DecoArt Media Misters. I love these things. I really, really do. They are worth every bit of trouble so far for having to keep the nozzles clean and stuff, and the process that I go through to make sure that they stay clean. I'll show you in a minute. So let me just get this spray in proper. I like to do test sprays into my trash can until I know that I'm getting a good dispersed mist, because I'm crazy like that. So let's just spray. And I oversprayed off the edge there. I don't know how much I love that. And then let's see. Whoa! Okay, it's not a perfect spray. It's not terrible. I'm peeling this off. Hold on, I'm going to show you here. I'm peeling this off because I don't waste. I'm like hands everywhere. I'm sorry. For starters, I want to get that off. So baby wipe to the rescue. And I want to take this black off this edge. I have other paint on here, so yeah, that's fun. I don't like this overspray. I don't really mind that she's not perfectly sprayed. That's okay with me, but I definitely don't want to tip it. I don't want it to drip, drip, drip. So, let's see. Let's grab this. There we go. There's a blank page. And then lay down the stencil. Because why waste all of that perfectly goodness, right? So just a quick roll with the brayer. I don't want to go too much because you don't want to squidge it through. You don't want to like squish the ink out, but just want to give it a quick press with the brayer. And then voila! You have the reverse image, and you didn't waste quite as much paint. Okay, I have to clean the stencil so I can flip it over, do it again. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got that pretty well set and dry, and I'm ready to spray the other side. So let's just give her a quick spray. Okay, so I'll be back as soon as this is ready. Okay, so I had the second one dried. I don't know if you can tell as much on the second one. I did blot them with the paper towel. I kind of like that texture. I'm going to blot this one a little more. It's too late. It's already getting dry. But I like it. And it actually worked out to be really, I mean, they're not on the exact same place on the paper, but they ended up vertically in the right place to look like I cannot English today. I don't know. Like a mirror image, and I kind of like it, kind of a lot. So I need to let this fully dry, and I did promise to talk to you about the misters and the fact that they do require some care. But the main difference between these and other sprays, like the dilution sprays, which are gorgeous and beautiful and have amazing colors, and I love dilution sprays, not knocking them at all. But they are water soluble, they are water reactive, and they come up through everything. Like if you, and sometimes that's fun, like sometimes you can do some really cool techniques, spraying your dilutions and then paint a coat of gesso and see what happens. It looks really cool. So if you haven't tried that yet, do it. I've done it on some videos. I think it's great fun. But these misters are acrylic paint, so they will dry permanent. I can work on top of these. I can lay a glaze down and go over it. I can do whatever I want. So you kind of have a little bit more control, or at least more options of what you can do. You have the same amount of control. Spray is a spray is a spray. But you have more options as to what you can do because they're acrylic paint. And I have not tried, and I'm going to. I know I'm going to buy a duplicate, and I'm going to give it a shot to see what happens. If I just make sure that I replace the cap, if I just make sure that I clean the nozzle really good and replace the cap, if that'll keep it from drying out. But so far, I don't have any duplicates, and I haven't decided on what color I'm willing to take that risk on. So for now, I do have the brush and stencil cleaner in the same size bottle, well, ish. And I bought them like this so that I can take this cap off, and it looks terrible. It comes clear, I promise. Mine's black now, but it's okay. And I take this nozzle off, and I will spray this into the trash. So I'll do that real quick. So I spray this into my trash can until there's no more paint coming out of it. And then I spray until cleaner comes out of it. So then I would take it and I would spray it again. See how it comes out still black? I'll spray it again until I know that it's all just cleaner coming out of there. Now the cleaner still sprays black because I've mixed so many paints in here. Now, again, I will take this to the trash can and spray it until it's empty. So pretend this is my trash can. So now I have an empty spray nozzle that's had cleaner sprayed through it. No more paint in my tube, no more paint in my spray mechanism, and then I put the cap back on and I store it. And it's really, like, it took longer to tell you about it than it does for me to actually do it most of the time. It's usually pretty quick. Those couple of minutes when I'm working with my sprays, make sure that my sprays never dry out and clog. So I do that. And you can actually buy the cleaner, the brush and stencil cleaner in a big bottle, and then refill this. I'm assuming it's the same product, even though this says DecoArt Media and this is just DecoArt Magic. It seems like it's the same stuff, right? So yeah, I think it'll work the same way. So that's how I maintain my DecoArt stencil spray misters, so that I make sure they don't clog, because they are acrylic paint and they will dry. It's not a water-based product like watercolor in bottles. And I have not found a perfect mister to mix my own in. Donna Downey sells some that she swears by on her website if you want to mix your own sprays of acrylic paint with airbrush medium, and she swears by these bottles that they don't clog as long as she makes sure to replace the caps. I haven't tried them myself yet. I am very interested in them though. I may have to get some. So anyways, for now this needs to dry and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've let this dry, and now y'all are gonna think I'm crazy. I know you are, but I want to add, I'm trying to get stuff out of the way. I want to add a black glaze. I do, a black glaze. I know, it sounds nuts. I don't care. Sometimes I'm nuts. And, well, we're going to give this a shot and see. Pray that I don't totally screw this up. But, you know, it's my art journal, right? I'm supposed to be trying things, testing things, seeing if it totally fails or not. And I did kind of screw up and forget to clean this overspray off from over here. I'm a little sad at myself about that one. So hopefully this black glaze will help kind of disguise that a little. If I can get the glazing medium to come out. There we go. Okay, so let me grab a brush and mix that chunky glaze into the fluid acrylic. There we go. And I think I'm going to keep it in certain places. Like, I don't want to go too heavy over some of these areas that I really like, so I'm going to just glaze around her a little. Some of these more white areas are going to get more of this glaze. That's what's going to happen. And I don't know that I'll glaze between them, where there's that space in there. I don't think we'll do that. Okay, so maybe a little up in here, or maybe in between them, maybe. Okay, we're just doing it. This, I don't know. This could be crazy. I admit, it could be crazy. Let's just see what happens. Just across the top a little so we get a good edge around the page. And then the sitting and the waiting, that's the hardest part. We're going to be testing these sprays and see if they are really permanent. I hope this really is dry as I think it is. Eek! I'm a little scared. So this has to sit for 2 minutes, and then I have to come back to it, and I have to go use up this glaze on something else, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I don't know if I waited a full 2 minutes. I'm scared. I'll admit to a little fear. Oh no, yep. My girls are going to wipe off a little. See that one? Started coming off. So maybe she's just not dry enough. I may have to respray her after doing the glaze because she's obviously not dry enough. She's coming off. Let's just finish the wiping, and I brought out a cleaner wipe, which is now too much wipe off these edges. Oof, okay, let's just finish this up using the dirtier wipe. Oh, a little bummed that the girls are wiping off. I live in Hawaii, so for those of you who don't know that yet, super duper humid, so things don't dry properly, I'll admit. So this is all about the fact that things don't dry around my world. That is why that came out the way it did. So, man, oh man, I gotta get this, I have to do it. I have to get the stencil back out, I have to respray it. There's no need for you to watch me do that. The glaze, I kind of like where it settled in here. It's still sticking in all the collage places because of course that's where it's going to stick. So I'm gonna think about it for a minute and get these fixed, and then I'll come back. What's happening now? This is one of those pages. You ever have those pages? This side was wet from me using the baby wipe, apparently kind of too wet, and then the stencil was a little offset, so it looks a lot more fuzzy and blurry than this side. Honestly, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But, like, it needs something. I still want to put black around the edges. Like, I think that would just work. I'm going to try going in with black just on my finger and see what I get and hope that it will get me where I want to be with this page because, yeah. So, it's like super frustrated or anything because, you know, shoot, sometimes pages just, art requires flexibility in what you're doing. So, you know, it is what it is, and that's okay. I can live with that. So I just want to, I still like the idea of like a smudgy black edging around this page. So we're just going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, that like totally does it for me. What in the world? Just that simple little bit of adding in that black around the edges really just brings it together for me. I like that. I think I want to add just a little bit of journaling to this, but first, seriously, needs to be dry so I don't screw it up any worse than I already have. I'm going to go and try and get some of this black off my hands because this is not pretty. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have heat dried this pretty well. And then I want to just write some words, and I'm going to do it with my fine liner. This is a 20 gauge fine liner mixed with fluid acrylic and airbrush medium. And I'm just going to scribble right on here, and then I'm calling it done. So I'm not loving where that's going. Let me try again. Now I'm being careful because I'm not 100% sure how dry these are. I might want to change the placement of these words. So, do that and then blot it with a dry towel so it's not super wet, or else the paint will move around in weird ways. So, let's see. Okay, so it says, don't be afraid to dance to the beat of your own drum. And it came out kind of liquidy, and I kind of don't hate it. Like, really, I don't hate it. It's more me just squeezing the bottle a little bit too hard. And my needle is bent. Does not want to go back in there. Okay, so this is going to take a long time to dry because it is airbrush medium in Hawaii, and it's rainy this week. So, long time to dry. It's just the nature of where I live. The weather this week. So, yeah, I'm calling it done. Done! Yeah, I kind of like it. I'm going to have to work on this lettering over here on dance because my C now looks like an A because it leaked, but we'll figure that out. I'm not overly worried about it being utterly perfect. I'm going to call it pretty well done. Yeah. I might, like, you know, blot a little bit of this up and fix it just a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I think I'm calling it good. I hope you guys enjoyed this week, even though it was a little bit of a struggle for me, but hey, that's the way. I said, but hey. Oh, I hate when my kids say that, and now I do it. Okay, so that's just the way art goes sometimes, and sometimes you just gotta call it good. Call it good. That's good enough. I'm moving on. I don't want to play with this page anymore. I definitely don't want to fight with this page, and I don't hate it, so that's good enough for me. Not hating it. Sometimes not hating it is as good as it's going to get. So I hope you guys had a fabulous holiday, and I hope this video came out on time. Gosh, I really hope this video came out on time. I'm literally recording on Christmas Eve, praying that as I'm driving to our location tomorrow I can get enough internet service to get this uploaded for you guys. If it's late, that's why. I'm sorry, but I'm trying really hard to get this out on the 28th like it's supposed to. Otherwise, I just hope you guys are having a great week. I hope you have a great rest of your week since it's Monday, and I'll see you guys soon. Yeah? Soon. Alright, bye for now.